Hi everyone, welcome to another puzzle from Jacob Aagaard's book, Excelling at Chess Calculation. This position is white to move and win in the combinations section of the book, and it says make sure you calculate all the way to a clearly winning position. So what does that mean? Well, as always, pause your video, try to solve this on your own. I'm just a little confused by the question here. Because, of course, I immediately see a strong move, but I'm trying to see why they're telling me I need to calculate all the way to a clearly winning position. I just don't quite understand what I'm missing. The obvious tactic is knight f6. Knight takes f6 is forced. Rook to h4. And the idea is when the queen moves, we take the rook. He will go queen takes queen. We will go rook takes rook. He must go king d7. We go rook f3. And this position is completely winning. Game is over, basically. So, after knight f6, clearly he has to sacrifice the queen or something here. Like, excuse me. I don't see any other choice but queen h4. But this looks kind of... really, do I have to there's no need to calculate further than this. Obviously, knight f6 is a good move. I don't see the practical benefit of calculating. Like they can stick the knight on e4 maybe, and it's like some kind of annoyance, I guess. But obviously, it's good for white. Let's just figure out how to do it from here. Queen g4 looks good. His rooks are out of play. His knight on e4 is really strong, though, so I'm trying to figure out, maybe queen f4 is better to kind of keep pressure on the f7 pawn. And just kind of like slowly maneuver. Maybe, I don't know, maybe h5, though. It's like a little tricky. This endgame's a little tricky. Let me just make sure there's nothing better, although I highly doubt it. Because he's threatening, he's not threatening anything, actually, so... There's no mate threats. We're defending all of them. Strange, you know? This position, it's like not... It's not like super obvious how to win. Like I was thinking of here, king e7, queen g7 it should be winning there though. Also, he can always throw in rook g8 as well. And let's say we go king. Let's say king h2, knight g4, king h3. Rook g1 looks pretty good. I don't know what they're getting at here, honestly. I'm just gonna go knight f6. I don't know why it says make sure you calculate all the way to a winning position, because it's just obviously the best move. Yeah, the way the game... I read the answer in the book, that game, a rapid game from Short and Dreev, and it went like this. And like rook g1, it says white's winning. And it starts as... Here, I have issue with the way he goes about this puzzle, because I think it's kind of silly. Basically, in chess, there's no need to calculate everything to the very end if you can tell very clearly that the first move you make greatly improves your position compared to your current position. Knight f6, listen, we don't need to calculate this to force mate. It's just silly. It's just completely mindless. You play this position, and then you figure out what to do. You can see king h2 is, good for you. Okay, I guess the idea is that maybe... Let me check. King h1... King h1 is fine. King f2 is the only... actually, every single line is good for white. This one's, tricky, though, because of knight h2. But, okay, really, this is not... Obviously, it's not, the only thing white can do is to allow that. So, I don't know. I just feel like it's silly. You just play the move, and obviously it's good for white. King h2, king h1. Maybe we're not winning instantly, but the original position we're not. We're, black's position is fine. So we just take this chance, and then if we miss something, it's not like any worse than the position we started with. So I just kind of like, I feel like sometimes these books are a little bit impractical. They don't tell you to do what you actually would do in a chess game, which is you just play this line and then figure out the most technical way to win from that point. You don't need to see it at the beginning. It's completely irrelevant. Oh, the only thing you need to see is that as long as you can see that you're better, like much better, and that black does not have like some tactical shot that like ruins your advantage, that's okay. Like if you miss some tactic or something, that's a big problem. But clearly, to me, there was no like immediate danger from playing this line. And so therefore, I see no need to be calculating to the very end. It's just silly. That's not how people think or play chess. I mean, you might calculate, but you know what you're really going to do is you're just going to play knight f6. And you're going to be like, okay, there's like 3 or 4, king h2 looks good, king h1 looks good. Even king f2 is not horrible. And so you would just kind of play one of these, you just figure you play the right move when it comes up. And, it's like, I'm actually calculating. I'm checking something on Houdini right now. Even king f2, it thinks white has some small advantage, but not much. But king h1 and king h2, it thinks are both pretty much winning. I mean, like, that's not really that hard to calculate, right? So, that's all. I just want everyone to be wary of the books that tell them to calculate to the very end, because it's not how chess works. That's not how good players think. You figure out when you need to calculate. This is not a case where you need to calculate anything more. The end. I'm done with my rant. Because, if you read a book, you're going to listen. You're going to listen because the author is a good player, and if you're not that high rated compared to the author, if you're like 1800 reading a book by a GM, you're just going to do what they say, even when what they say is completely nonsensical. Like it is a little bit in this case. I like his books, but in this case, there's no need to have a warning to calculate to the very end of the variation. It's just, this position is just good for white, obviously, for like many, many reasons. Anyway, that's all. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.